Hello guys, welcome back to Sports Angle. Really good to have you back. And this time, I don't want to be speaking about the IPL. It's obviously under progress. The qualifiers and the eliminators are on, and I hope you're enjoying watching it. But I've not made this video on the Indian Premier League. This is to talk about the football which is going on and the developments around it. So a lot has happened, as you're fair aware that Manchester United is not in a desirable position as it should be after signing the likes of Varane, Sancho, and Ronaldo. There's some pressure on the team itself. At the same time, I think what's making bigger news or bigger rounds is that Newcastle has been taken over by the Saudi fund, and it's really interesting to see because it's going to be one of the wealthiest clubs. But this video is not to talk about that. I'm going to be talking, I've not done like a heart-to-heart video as a United fan as to what I feel about the current situation, about what's going on with Ole, his team selection and whatnot. So, without wasting much time, I think it's better that we dig in and let's talk about it. Now, what's happening at Manchester United? See, we have had worse starts, but I don't say that this is going to be that sometime where we have to press that panic button and say that Ole should be thrown out or this. On this channel, you're never going to hear from me that a certain manager should be sacked or whether he should be in. I'm not that person about Ole in, Ole out. This video is not about that. So if you have expectations of those, I'm really sorry. I've disappointed you. But this video is not about that. Now, the obvious contention is that many people have thought, you've gotten Varane, you've gotten Ronaldo, you've gotten Sancho, what's happening? Obviously, United is fourth on the table and should be right at the top because we should have won 2 games against Everton and against Aston Villa, and we dropped 5 points in both the games, which is not good. Now what has happened is that it has put additional pressure on the players, it has put additional pressure on Ole because he's been given his players from the get-go. He's got whoever he's wanted, and now that if he is not delivering the goods, some kind of obvious pressure from the fans and the media is going to go towards him, but some of it is really unjustified. Now, why do I feel that? Is because, see, we have had worse starts. Last season, at this point in time, we had lost to Spurs 6-1. That's worse than what it was. And we had to come back and then after the international break beat Newcastle 4-1 at Goodison Park. That was that about Spurs and United and what it was. It was a very bad state, and we were probably in the bottom half of the table, and we still managed to come second, and we briefly challenged for the league. I know briefly challenged does not mean much. I also feel that there are certain changes which Ole has to make. He has to go with the mindset. If he has to end that Old Trafford haunted feeling of the team itself, where the teams which are coming to play us, they do not feel a sense of hostility, they do not feel a sense of intimidation. That is the reason, is because we are playing 2 defensive midfielders. It's more like we are doing damage control than actually intending to cause damage to the opposition. Many teams, I think, in the past, especially a good case example is Liverpool, which faced the same problem. They faced a lot of stagnant midfielders who were there. But I think Klopp, what he did was he removed the fear of conceding and he instilled the braveness of attacking and going forward. Now, I'm not saying Ole should learn from Klopp and that should have happened, but that idea is not flawed. If you have to be asserting your home ground as a fortress, you have to go ahead and feel that you have to score goals there at any given time. And Manchester United's base philosophy is scoring goals at any given time through any given medium. It's the reason also why we bought Ronaldo. Now, a lot of genius fans and a lot of people are calling for Ole's head and Ronaldo to be dropped, and Ronaldo's holding stuff back, or drop a certain set of players like both drop McTominay and Fred and stuff like that. Now, obviously, some of it is true, some of it is false. I don't agree with the whole Ole situation, like him, you just all of a sudden you were enjoying his good football and stuff like that, and now because of some results here and there, you just want about. Again, I'm not going to be going into that debate. But talking about the Ronaldo situation, let me tell you this. When you buy a player like Ronaldo, you have to tweak your system a bit. This is not a player you are buying, who just has scored 20-25 goals a season and is coming off the scene. This is a 5-time Ballon d'Or winner. This is a 5-time Champions League winner. probably one of the greatest players, not only of this era, probably of the entire football era we all know, and probably of the game. He's such a huge personality, and this guy can win you games if you suit and tweak the system according to how he wants to play. Now that obviously is going to take some time, but while transitioning, it's not acceptable that we lose to sides like Young Boys, West Ham at home, Aston Villa. That is a bit unacceptable. However, I feel that the second part of it is that I've been watching the games a lot with my father, and he has a very good, astute way of understanding communication on field. So he brought it out, and it's a point which I agree on, is that he said that there is a lack of synchronization between the players, which I always feel is going to be happening, because if you have these huge superstars coming in and suddenly a new setup, it can get a bit overwhelming sometimes for the existing players as well. So yeah, and okay, you're thinking at the back of your mind, oh yeah, these are professional players and nothing should overwhelm them. I mean, it happens. See, overwhelming does happen, and these kind of situations will arise. But what I feel is that, yeah, that lack of sync is not there. The team needs to really play together. They need to be having, a solid base together. And I think that will just build over time. Now, this is what my opinion is about what's happening in Manchester United. My solution is, as I suggested, is to not worry about conceding a goal, but to go out there and attack. Be brave, score 4, score 3. At the end of the day, you'll concede 1, you'll concede 2, it's okay. As long as you are asserting that belief of winning at home. Once that is done, then you can talk about not conceding at home. But I think it has to go in a stage, and it cannot be all of a sudden at once you can, get that assertiveness and that dominance at home. Now that's what I think about what is happening at Manchester United. Obviously, the Glazers have also put up their 137 million worth of shares, 137 million pounds. They put that, on for sale. Now, is that good news or bad news? I really don't know. A change in ownership is definitely needed, because the club has to go in the right direction. And yes, I'm saying this despite them getting Sancho, Varane and Ronaldo. I'm not going to be shying away from the fact that the club needs really good ownership, in terms of it needs to be talking about these kind of things openly and in a forum where a fan's opinions are taken care of. But that's a thing for another time. I hope the coming fixture list. Ole usually does well with big teams, and he usually does well when the chips are down and when the odds are against him. So let's hope that he turns around these results and we can have a good time. So breath of fresh air with Newcastle being taken over, and that's something really good for the Premier League. More money coming into the Premier League, more quality players. Might see Coutinho at Newcastle, who knows. But I have a feeling that they're going to be putting a proper structure in place. They're going to be putting a lot of good things in place which the Newcastle fans deserve. Really happy for some Newcastle fans, who've been patiently waiting. But I don't agree with the abuse which is being directed towards Steve Bruce. He's kept this ship together, and if they've got this sale, it's partly because of him, because he is, escaped relegation. And if had he not, then I don't know whether the Saudi fund would have been looking for this club from that perspective or not. But yeah, do let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a detailed video about why the Newcastle takeover happened, how it happened, and why Newcastle, because they were in talks with multiple clubs from the Premier League. So let's see, and if you want me to make a video about it, I'm more than happy to do it. But yeah, the IPL is upon us, and it's in the business end of it. So we're going to be talking more about that. So yeah, fingers crossed. Let's see what happens with Manchester United, and I hope we can be making more videos about what's going right at Manchester United rather than speaking about all this. So thank you, like, share and subscribe.